Minister Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman announced Budget 2023. Amongst the other changes, one key change which impacted taxpayer and in a positive way is the change in slab rates. But those are only for those who opt new tax regime. So today I am going to discuss those changes, its impact, and which option should you select as a taxpayer. Let's first go through the changes. So now the tax slab for new tax regime are 0 to 3 lakhs 0 tax, 3 to 6 lakhs 5%, 6 to 9 lakhs 10%, 9 to 12 lakhs 15%, 12 to 15 lakhs 20%, and above 15 lakhs 30%. One more change is that the rebate for new tax regime is now any income under 7 lakhs will have rebate, which means no tax. Means first the tax will be calculated, but due to rebate it will be deducted, and hence your net tax liability would be 0. Which means that if your income is up to 7 lakhs, your net tax liability would be 0. But even if it crosses by 1 rupee, say 7 lakh 1 rupees, then the tax would be calculated as 15,000 for 5% on 3 to 6 lakhs and the 10,000 from 6 to 7 lakhs. Which option should you select as a taxpayer? So as I said, it depends on your level of income and the amount of investments which you are willing to make. So at each bracket, there is a break-even point where an old tax regime needs a certain amount of deduction for it to match the new tax regime. So if your income after standard deduction is 7 lakhs, then you will require 2 lakhs as deduction amount for your old tax to be at par with new tax. If your income after standard deduction is 10 lakhs, then you would require 2,62,500 for your old tax scheme to be at par with new scheme. And if your income is 15 lakhs, then the same amount would be 3,75,000. Now, of course, other thing to note here is that if you are making investment only for purpose of tax reasons, then that break-even point is not good enough, and then taxpayer can even select new tax scheme even if there is no difference between old and new, because then they have the money in their hand to select other investments not for tax purpose but for growth of money. There is also indication by government that they are now pushing taxpayers to opt for new scheme. There are chances that in the next budget more benefit would be given to new tax regime. It is also indicated by the fact that by default for taxpayer in the site the option selected would be new tax regime. If you want to change it, you will have to manually change it. In summary, I would say that there are still cases where your old tax regime would be beneficial, but for that you will either have to have HRA as a component in your salary and you should be paying HRA, or housing loan interest. Only ATC deductions in most cases will not be good enough. So which means you can select new tax regime. Thanks, and if you have any other queries, you can post in comment.